The Labor Department released the final jobs report for 2020 today, showing the first drop since April as states ramped up coronavirus restrictions. Overall, the U.S. economy lost 140,000 jobs last month, while the unemployment rate held steady at 6.7%. To dig deeper into that report, I do want to bring in economist Stephen Moore. Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Greta. Good to be with you.
The headline of today's report is that this is the first job loss since April, but combing through by sector, most of that loss was in leisure and hospitality, which is expected with officials reimposing lockdowns across several states. What's your takeaway from today's report?
Well, I think you just made a very good summary of it. There's no question there were almost 500,000 jobs lost in bars and restaurants and stores and some of these service industries that are a result of lockdowns in states like California and New York and New Jersey and others. And so that's where the job losses were, and it's very predictable. If you're going to shut down restaurants, you're going to lose a lot of jobs. I mean, we have 12 million Americans that are employed in that industry alone. But you're also right, Greta, that if you look at the construction numbers were good, the manufacturing numbers were good, the technology numbers were good. It was just, if it had not been for the leisure and hospitality industry, we would have gained something like 300,000 jobs. One other quick point of optimism, two actually. One is that if you look at the revisions from previous months, the net impact on jobs was zero. That is to say, they increased the number of jobs from previous months by over 100,000. So it was pretty close to zero. The other thing is wages were up, Greta. That's a really positive thing. It means that there's a lot of actually, despite the fact that we have so many unemployed people, there are actually a lot of job openings in the United States, about 6.7 million. That's almost near a record job openings.
We have seen a big rally on Wall Street this week as investors grow pretty optimistic that more stimulus will be passed with Democrats controlling the White House and both chambers of Congress. How would more stimulus, though, impact the economy and the recovery at this point?
Negatively. I think Wall Street likes the sugar high of these massive amounts of debt spending. But, it's a simple law of economics, Greta, that the debts have to be repaid. This isn't free money. It's just a redistributional program. It might provide some very short-term relief, but Casey Mulligan, who's a University of Chicago economist, one of the top labor economists in the nation, and I have done some analysis of this, and we think over the course of the next 6 months, the economy will lose 4 million jobs because of the increased unemployment benefits that actually pays people to stay unemployed, the increase in rental assistance, the increase in food stamps. All of these things are negative for employment. So I'm not buying into this hype that somehow this stimulus bill is going to be a positive thing for the economy. But I got to tell you, you're right, Greta. The folks on Wall Street are salivating for this.
With such a slim majority in the Senate, Democrats will have trouble passing large legislation without support from Republicans to meet that 60-vote threshold. One thing they can pass, though, by simple majority is anything related to spending, and that does include taxes. How would the Democrat tax agenda impact the U.S. economy?
Well, we'll have to see what they can get passed, Greta. I mean, it's not going to be easy to undo the Trump tax cuts, which, by the way, were a phenomenal success. So I don't understand the left's obsession with they talk a lot about science. The science is pretty clear that those tax cuts created one of the best economies America's ever had. The betting is that they'll maybe be able to raise taxes a little bit, but certainly not the massive amount that Joe Biden is talking about. And, when you consider the fact, Greta, that we are now in a situation, we're in kind of almost hand-to-hand combat economically with the Chinese. They think that by the year 2028, which isn't too far off, that they can overtake the United States. Why would we want to raise taxes on American companies, American corporations, American small businesses? That only plays into the hands of the Chinese. And I know Republicans and advocates for lower taxes like myself are going to make that argument to the Democrats. So maybe a small tax increase, but I don't see the huge one that is on the table right now.
All right, economist Steve Moore there joining us to discuss the December jobs report and his expectations for the economy under Democrats in the future. Thanks so much, as always, for coming on the show today, Steve.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.